And this is for me the number one way to connect with our intuition, to clear the clutter in our mind, and to really feel into what it is that our soul is leading us towards, what it is that our soul is speaking to us. Because in the end, our intuition is this inner voice, this deeper knowing, this deeper sense of who you are that is trying to guide you through life. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how we can tune into our inner voice, not our mind's voice, but our inner voice, our intuition. How do we know when it is our intuition speaking to us? How can we deepen that connection with ourselves, with our intuition, with our inner guidance? So if that's something that you have been struggling with, or you want to have more dominant in your life, then this episode truly is for you. If that's something that you'd love to learn more about, then stay around. How does it feel to be alive, to be free? Are we truly in the here and now, or are we living a dream that we created? Close your eyes to see clearly. This is life on purpose. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of On Purpose by Lien. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Lien and I share with you everything you need to know about personal development and spirituality so that you can create your best life and so that you can rise to your fullest potential. If that's something that you're interested in, then make sure to subscribe. So our intuition, people call it also our gut feeling. Some people say God feeling, and that's really what our intuition is. I just looked up the definition of intuition, and it said something along the lines with following your instincts, and I think that's a beautiful way of describing it. It's following this instinct. Like animals have their instincts. They immediately know when there is danger. They immediately know when things are happening around them and they should pay attention. It's this instinct. Now, this instinct is not necessarily fear-driven. I know that this example might have not been a very good example, but it's this voice that is guiding you towards your true unique path, your soul's blueprint, your soul's direction, what it wants to create here, what it wants to learn here. And it is your soul speaking to you through your gut feeling, through this inner knowing, this inner instinct. And in Holland, I am originally from Holland, and something that people often say is wees verstandig, which is when you are from Holland, you know what it means. But in English, it would be the translation, the direct translation of that would be wise. Now, wise isn't necessarily the feeling that this direct translation, I don't think it's like it has the same feeling to it, because be verstandig or wees verstandig means like be wise through using your mind, and I do believe that this is exactly what it is not to follow your intuition. I think especially within the Western world, we're so trained to use our mind and to disconnect from this instinct, our intuition, this inner voice that is guiding you that doesn't make any sense. And instead, we are being trained to think about what is the best decision that we can take, the most logical, the one that makes most sense, the one that is wise in like experience of life. That's the best decision that we can take for our life. But the problem with this is that our intuition often doesn't make sense. It's not logical. it's not something that we can explain with our mind. It's simply this knowing, this inner knowing that you know that you need to go to a certain place, or you need to talk with certain people, or that you have this impulse to do something or to create something. That is our intuition speaking to us, and often this doesn't make sense. So what often happens is when we are going to follow our intuition, which we are not programmed to do, our mind steps in, it takes over, because that's what we're trained to do, and it will come up with a million reasons why this is not the right decision, why this doesn't make any logical sense. It will try to discourage you because it doesn't know how to deal with this uncertainty, with this discomfort, with this amount of trust that you put in just this intuitive idea that you got. And so often we get self-doubt, or we get fear that comes in, and it is so tempting to allow that to dictate your decisions and what you're going to do, and especially not do, and stop you from actually following your intuition. So the key to following your intuition, I find, knowing what is the difference, is quieting our minds, because our mind chatter often gets in the way of tuning into our intuition and tuning in and knowing exactly the pure intuition. So one thing to do that for me is meditating or going out in nature. One thing that I find in nature, which is so soothing for our souls, for our minds, is that nature is the pure reflection of source energy, pure connection of unconditional love, of neutrality, because nature is neutral. Nature is neutral. It will only reflect to us what's going on within us without any ego interfering, right? Nature doesn't have ego. And so going out in nature is one of the ways where we can tune into this neutral frequency, and we synchronize with that frequency through being out in nature. I surf a lot, so being in the ocean for me is also tuning in with this neutral frequency, the frequency of the ocean, the frequency of this flow. And this is what I have always found that nature gave me, this comfort, this neutralizing of my mind. And this is for me the number one way to connect with our intuition, to clear the clutter in our mind, and to really feel into what it is that our soul is leading us towards, what it is that our soul is speaking to us. Because in the end, our intuition is this inner voice, this deeper knowing, this deeper sense of who you are that is trying to guide you through life. So let me know in the comments if any of this resonated with you. Let me know what you guys use to tune in deeper to your intuition. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from, because I'd love to get to know you. And if you have liked this video, hit that like button, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. I upload videos every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays so that you can create your best life. Share this video with anyone who you think could benefit from this message right now. And I recently started a brand new podcast, which is called Returning Home with Liem. You can find it in the link in the description below, or you can check it out directly on Spotify or Apple Podcasts if you want to listen directly on there. And don't forget to check out my Lightworker merchandise if you want to further support my channel, if you want to spread a message of love, light, positivity, and awakening with the world who desperately needs it right now. If you identify as a light worker, as someone who spreads the message of love, consciousness. And I truly think that that was it for today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Remember, we have such an exciting future to look forward to, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Bye for now.